The third base umpire will be Don Dahl. And behind the plate, Greg Schooner. To throw this evening's first pitch tonight, we have Gebers Farms of Brewster, along with Mac and Becky Gebers. They're major sponsors of this World Series. This family-owned company owns over 8,000 acres of cherry and apples and is one of the top 100 privately owned companies in the state of Washington. Since 2000, they've had 5 young men in the family play River Dog baseball. Here tonight to throw out the first pitch, representing the Gebers family, is Michael Taylor, a member of the 2005 River Dog team that finished third in the 2005 World Series in Newark, Ohio. Mike was voted Division III National Basketball Player of the Year at Whitworth University, where he played both basketball and baseball. Thank you, Michael, Mac, Becky, and the rest of the family. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please stand, and gentlemen, remove your hats. As every song stylist, 12-year-old.
Quit hanging there, kid.
Senior Babe Ruth fans, as we got the nightcap in Game 8 for your 2011 Senior Babe Ruth World Series 16 to 18-year-olds here in Ephrata, Washington. We're here at Johnson O'Brien Stadium, and Game 8 is going to feature your host team, the Columbia Basin River Dogs, taking on San Gabriel, California, and no stranger to this tournament. And so the first 7 games so far, as the coaches and the umpires are out there at home plate, we had San Gabriel open up this tournament against Onondaga in New York, and Onondaga, New York won that game 3-2. The second game of the tournament was between Portland and Noblesville, Indiana, and Portland came back and won that one in 8 innings, 4-3. Puget Sound then came back and beat Eagles Point, Texas, 11-3 when they played, and then in Game 4, the nightcap last night, the River Dogs ended up winning in the bottom of the 7th, 4-3 against Ottumwa, Iowa. The first game of the game today was Game 5, and it was Team Cape Cod losing to Portland by a score of 7-0. Mobile played their first game of the tournament and came and beat Onondaga, New York by a score of 10-0. And then the game that was just the last game we played here, Noblesville, Indiana, ended up beating Puget Sound by a score of 6-2, which brings us to the River Dogs playing San Gabriel here this evening. Well, we're going to go ahead and go down through the lineups here for your Columbia Basin River Dogs. It's going to be a leadoff of number 5, Davis Engel, the second baseman. He'll be the first at bat. He had a great game throwing last night to help the River Dogs in their victory. Number 22, Cameron Alvarado, the shortstop, will be hitting second. Number 11, Stockton Taylor, who hit the ball well last night. It's going to be your pitcher and hitting third. Number 18, Chris Walker, the right fielder, who hit the line shot off of the Ottumwa pitcher last night, is going to be playing right field and is your cleanup hitter. Number 21, Josh Snyder, the first baseman, is hitting fifth. Number 35, Jacob Yamani, the left fielder, will be hitting sixth. Number 20, Matt Nayola, the catcher, will be hitting seventh. And number 15, Amando De Leon, the third baseman, will be hitting eighth. Rounded out by number 10, Rico Moreno, will be playing center field and hitting ninth. San Gabriel on the other side is going to have number 14, Mark Satzer, the first baseman, leading off, and then number 25, Nick Cooksey, will be playing third base, hitting second. Hitting third is number 29, Brennan Salgado, the catcher, and batting cleanup is number 33, Troy McElhay, the center fielder. Number 12, Elliot Surrey, is playing right field and hitting fifth. Number 24, Troy Prazerzit, is hitting and is playing left field and hitting sixth. Number 27, Nick Wagner, is the second baseman, hitting seventh. Number 10, Andrew Medina, the shortstop, will be hitting eighth. And number 7, Kai Edson, and pitching for San Gabriel, will be hitting ninth, and he is out there, and he's a submariner. Throws from the right-hand side. He's taking his warm-up pitches right now as Kai Edson. So we're going to be getting ready to get things undergoing here pretty soon. I want to remind you that the 2011 Babe Ruth World Series can be watched live as well as being listened to on the telecast. www.columbiabasinherald.com is where you can watch, as well as iFiber Channel 1. You can also watch it on your mobile at cbhtv.mobi, M-O-B-I. Well, we're about ready to get things underway here as Davis Engel is getting ready. He's taking a few warm-up cuts, and he'll be standing in the box to face Kai Edson from San Gabriel. Umpire says, all right, we can go ahead and have our first pitch, and the first pitch comes in as a strike. Not too many submariners do we see, but Edson does throw in a submarine style where he comes with the hand below his waist when he throws, kind of a sidearm motion. And strike two quickly to Davis Engel. He's trying to get a beat on him and kind of see kind of a style that you don't see every single day. Third pitch from Edson is grounded by Engel down to third foul. So he'll make his way back to the batter's box. Davis has hitting up to date, is hitting .387 so far this year. And so a very successful season at the plate, as well as pitching well for the Columbia Basin River Dogs. And he will ground one out towards the second baseman, who kind of has it go in front of him, but he will get it in time. So Wagner throwing out to Satzer to get Davis Engel for the first out of the inning. Score at 4-3 on Davis Engel. That's going to bring up Cameron Alvarado, the shortstop, number 22 for the River Dogs. He stands into the right side, sees the delivery from Edson, and it's outside for ball one. Good-sized crowd here again tonight. There was a good-sized crowd last night making it to the ballpark. Next pitch is also outside, so the ball kind of comes through on that submarine delivery, and it has a tendency to kind of have movement that kind of keeps moving it outside. And there's a strike on the outside corner. 2-1 now the count on Alvarado. One away here are just getting started in the top half of the first. Next pitch on the way is outside for ball three. 3-1 now on Cameron, and on deck is going to be number 11, Stockton Taylor, the pitcher for the River Dogs. Next pitch is on the way, and it's outside, so ball 4. So on base with the free pass is Cameron Alvarado to give the River Dogs their first base runner of the evening. That's going to bring up the tall 11, Stockton Taylor, the number 3 batter for the Columbia Basin River Dogs. Stockton got them on the board last night when he hit a triple that ended up getting an overthrow, came home on the overthrow and scored the first run for the River Dogs. He looks it outside for ball number 1 from Edson. 1 on, 1 out here in the top half of the first inning. And there's a pickoff move. It's going to get away from the first baseman, and up and moving is Alvarado, and he will make it easily down to second base. It was going to be a close play on the pickoff in the first place, so not only is he lucky that that ball got missed, but it got by to allow him to get all the way down to second base. And with that, we're going to see the second baseman kind of come in and probably talk about how they're going to keep Alvarado on and their plays that they have going, as the catcher also went out and had that little powwow with Edson on the mound. So it was Salgado and Wagner coming out and talking to Edson. Stepping in now is Stockton Taylor. And the pitch from Edson is going to be ground ball, but it's off of Stockton Taylor already, so it doesn't matter whether it stays in or out. Hit off the batter for... The scoreboard says a count of 1-1. After all that talking, I couldn't remember what it was, so I must have had a ball already up there. 1-1 is the count on Stockton Taylor. 1 away here in the top half. And we got time from the catcher. Stockton steps back out. Alvarado takes his lead out at second base. And Taylor gets set. Here's the pitch. Fouled over towards the San Gabriel dugout, which is on the third base side tonight. Columbia Basin River Dogs will be over at the first base side as the visiting team. Taylor steps back in with a 1-2 count, with 1 out here in the top half of the first, no score. And then there is a pickoff move, and I'm not so sure that wasn't that was a slow delivery on his way back over to second base. I'm not so sure he didn't really commit a little bit more towards home plate. That's just my opinion. But back in time was Alvarado. And with the 1-2 count, here comes Edson. Swing and a miss from Taylor. Down on strikes goes Stockton for the second out of the inning. And that's going to bring up Chris Walker, number 18, the right fielder for the Columbia Basin River Dogs, seeing if he can go ahead and capitalize on the man in scoring position. Got the camera wells up there on top of the dugouts, both dugouts. And we got one right behind home plate. For viewing pleasure, you can watch the game. And that ball's going to get back behind the catcher. It's inside, and making his way down to third is Alvarado on the pass ball. You can watch this as well as listen to it on www.columbiabasinherald.com or cbhtv.mobi, M-O-B-I, or iFiber Channel 1. As said before, if you like the technology and you want it to be available, please participate. And there's a ground ball that goes out to the pitcher. Edson turns around, throws over to first base. And out at first is Chris Walker. So 3 down, nobody comes across. The Alvarado is abandoned over at third base. So after the first half of the inning, we still have no score between Columbia Basin and San Gabriel, California. This is the 2011 16 to 18-year-old Senior Babe Ruth World Series Broadcast Network. We'll be right back in 90 seconds.
Come on down to the 2011 Grant County Fair. Tons of fun for the family and lots of activities and crafts, food and livestock. the Moses Lake Rodeo Roundup, and the Demo Derby, and lots of other stuff. The 2011 fair will be held between August 16th through August 20th, so come on down and bring the family. You can find us at the fairgrounds here in Moses Lake. Come join the fun the third weekend of September at Odessa's 41st Annual Deutsches Fest. Enjoy authentic German food, games for the kids and for the adults, beer gardens, and great music throughout the entire weekend. Located at the crossroads of Highways 21 and 28, Odessa is 72 miles west of Spokane and 45 miles east of Moses Lake. Bring the whole family. There's something for everyone at this year's Deutsches Fest in Odessa.
Senior Babe Ruth fans, as we're here on Game 8, and Game 8 is between your host team, the Columbia Basin River Dogs, in San Gabriel, California. We're going into the bottom half of the first. Columbia Basin failed to score in their first half of the inning, stranded Cameron Alvarado over at third base. And San Gabriel will send up the leadoff hitter, which will be number 14, Mark Satzer, the first baseman. People still filtering in to see some good baseball here. It's good to see the good turnout and the support here in Ephrata. And that first pitch from Stockton Taylor will make its way back to the screen for ball one. Satzer sits back in with a 1-0 count. Next delivery on the way. It's going to be ripped out towards center field, but it's hit right on a dime to Rico Moreno, and he will corral it for the first out of the inning. So fly out to center field, and that's going to bring up number 25, Nick Cooksey, the third baseman, hitting second from San Gabriel. Cooksey hits from the right-hand side. Stockton Taylor throws from the right as well. And that first pitch is swung on and grounded down towards the third baseline. Foul. Out with a new baseball. And your 0-1 count comes in for a ball. 1-1 now on Cooksey. One away here in the bottom half of the first. No score. Just pretty much getting underway on the ball game here on a nice calm night. Again, no movement on the flag. That ball's going to be skied up, but it looks like it's going to make its way out of play, and it does. Bounces off of a trailer before it gets to the parking lot. Back Cooksey will grab his bat with a 1-2 count. We'll step back in. I noticed that almost all the players, they really step in inside so that ball can't go to the outside on them. And there's a base hit over the second baseman, Davis Engel, and the center fielder Moreno will throw it back in. And over at first base with a base hit is Nick Cooksey. And that's going to bring up number 29, Brennan Salgado, the catcher. Brennan had himself a home run in yesterday's game. It was a very, it was an important, kind of got San Gabriel going. But they just came up short against New York yesterday. First, no, pick-off throw over towards first, and Cooksey is back in. One away here, one on over at first base in Cooksey. And at the plate, This is Brennan Salgado looking for his first pitch. Another throw back over to first base. Stockton Taylor looks in. Looks over at the runner. Comes set. And you're into pitch. That'll be hit sky high. Over towards third base. Long run for shortstop. And he drops it. Cameron Alvarado gets it still over at second base, though, for the force out, as Cooksey could only go about halfway down. But it was a long run for Alvarado. And he got underneath it, but he kind of overran it. And so it hit the ground. Was still had the presence of mind to pick it up and throw it over to second base to Engel to get the force out. So over at first base is Salgado. 2 outs in the inning on the force play from 6-4. Troy McElhay, the center fielder, now steps in. He'll look it outside for ball 1. Number 33 on his back. Stands in the right-hand side. Good size kid. And number 12, Elliott Surrey on deck, the right fielder. Taking his lead is Salgado. Outside again. For ball 2. 2-0 now on McElhay, or Mulcahy. Out of the stretch. Stockton looks over. Here's the pitch. Ball 3. 3-0 on Troy. 2 down. Run at first in Salgado. No score in the ball game here in the bottom of the first. Next pitch on the way. Called strike on the outside corner. 3-1 now your count. So San Gabriel, they will play tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time against Ottumwa, Iowa. After this game here. Looks at ball 4. So Mulcahy heads down to first base, and making his way up to second is Salgado with a couple aboard now for San Gabriel. Number 12, Elliott Surrey, the right fielder, now comes to the plate. Stockton in the stretch, looks for his sign. Looks back. Here's the pitch. Umpire says it's high and outside for ball 1. 1-0 on Elliott. Not being held on is Troy Mulcahy over at first. Down at second is Salgado, and here's the pitch, and it's going to be grounded out towards first base. And taking it himself rather quickly is Josh Snyder, and he does make the put out on Surrey, so that will end the inning. Couple of people got aboard. Looks like there was 1 hit, and there was no runs, and there was no errors. So after 1 complete, the score is 0-0 for your Columbia Basin River Dogs in San Gabriel, California. This is the 2011 16 to 18-year-old Senior Babe Ruth World Series Broadcast Network. We will be back in about 90 seconds.
Come join the fun the 3rd weekend of September at Odessa's 41st Annual Deutsches Fest. Enjoy authentic German food, games for the kids and for the adults, beer gardens, and great music throughout the entire weekend. Located at the crossroads of Highways 21 and 28, Odessa is 72 miles west of Spokane and 45 miles east of Moses Lake. Bring the whole family. There's something for everyone at this year's Deutsches Fest in Odessa.
We are real students, and this really is our college.
My dream will change the outcome of my life.
My college is allowing me to achieve my dream.
My dream is to be a pilot.
My dream is to be a nurse.
Only you can determine your dream. Big Bend will help you get there.
What's your dream?
Washington, where we have your 2011 16 to 18-year-old Senior Babe Ruth World Series taking place. We're in Game 8 right now between the Columbia Basin River Dogs and the San Gabriel, California team. Right now, San Gabriel lost yesterday to the New York and Onondaga, and we had Columbia Basin beat Umpqua, Iowa, and the submariner Kai Edson throws a ball that kind of goes behind Josh Snyder, your next batter for the Columbia Basin River Dogs, but it didn't hit him. Number 21, the first baseman. So 1-0 is your count. Next pitch is going to be grounded towards the dugout of San Gabriel, evening up your count at 1-1 on Snyder. Snyder bats from the left-hand side, and he'll hit one out towards the shortstop, and up with it is Medina, and throwing it over to Satzer for the out. Number 1 for Columbia Basin here in the top of the second. That's going to bring up 35, Jacob Yamani, the left fielder for Columbia Basin. Jacob steps in on the right-hand side. The submariner Edson throws it across for strike 1. 0-1 the count. Yamani steps back in. 1 away here in the top half of the second. And that will make its way back to the backstop. And new baseball work its way back out to Edson. Reminding you that you can watch as we also do this telecast on radio. You can also watch at the same time. There's a ball that's lined down towards the right field, but it will be foul for Yamani. You can watch it on www.columbiabasinherald.com, or you can watch it on iFiber Channel 1 or cbhtv.mobi. M-O-B-I. So 1-2 count now on Yamani, and he will line it down to Satzer, and it'll be an out rather quickly for number 2. So that's going to bring up Matt Noyola, the catcher for Columbia Basin, number 20. So 2 away here in the top half of the second. I'm Patrick Boroff giving you the play-by-play here. First pitch is outside. Bruce Rhyme does a couple of games as well. He did the first couple of games this today and last night. Next pitch on the way is outside for ball 2 on Matt Noyola. No wind, no breeze, perfect timing. Evening coming on. Next pitch is inside fastball for strike. So 2-1 now on Noyola. Only 1 hit in the ball game for San Gabriel so far. Outside for ball 3. 3-1 now on Noyola. 4 games to come to you tomorrow again. And there's ball 4. So Noyola will take his free pass and head down with 2 outs here in the top half of the second. And that's going to bring up number 15, Armando De Leon, the third baseman. Tomorrow's games start out at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time with Cape Cod versus Noblesville, Indiana. And then 2 p.m. will bring us Portland and Eagle Pass, Texas. And that pitch is outside also. So the coach is going to come out and kind of talk. Brings out Phil Torres, I believe, and he's going to come out and he's going to talk to Edson probably a little bit about, where he's going to start that pitch, the submarine pitch, because a lot of them are just drifting outside. They're starting right down the middle, but then they're drifting outside, and the umpire's not giving him completely like the outside corner. And so he's probably just kind of going over that he might have to start it a little bit more inside. If he wants to get that pitch where it's going to get called a strike, and Torres works his way back into the dugout. Catcher Salgado makes his way back towards behind the plate. And Armando De Leon steps back into the batter's box. And that next pitch is fouled away, so in the count now 1-1 on Amando. He'll step back up. Edson looking and taking a sign. And then he'll throw over to first base. And getting back in plenty of time was Noyola. He's a catcher, and he has a catcher's lead over there. Only about a step and a half. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss. So that pitch is working its way outside pretty good on DeLeon. He's having a hard time kind of catching up to that. On deck is number 10, Rico Moreno, the center fielder for Columbia Basin. Edson comes set. Here's the pitch. And it's nice hard ground ball to the first baseman, and Sotzer picks it up no problem, unassisted, and takes it to the bag for the third out of the inning. So one was stranded and Noyola over at first base, and after 1.5 innings are complete, we still have no score between Columbia Basin and San Gabriel, California. We want to remind you this is the 2011 16 to 18-year-old Senior Babe Ruth World Series Broadcasting Network, and we'll be back in about a minute and a half.
Diamond Dig Night. Ladies over the age of 18, your $5 donation will get you a spot in center field. Can you try and lighten up your camera a little bit?
Come on down to the 2011 Grant County Fair. Tons of fun for the family and lots of activities and crafts, food and livestock, the Moses Lake Rodeo Roundup and the Demo Derby, and lots of other stuff. The 2011 Fair will be held between August 16th through August 20th. So come on down and bring the family. You can find us at the fairgrounds here in Moses Lake. Come join the fun the third weekend of September at Odessa's 41st Annual Deutsches Fest. Enjoy authentic German food, games for the kids and for the adults, beer gardens, and great music throughout the entire weekend. Located at the crossroads of Highways 21 and 28, Odessa is 72 miles west of Spokane and 45 miles east of Moses Lake. Bring the whole family. There's something for everyone at this year's Deutsches Fest.
Senior Babe Ruth fans, we're here in Ephrata, Washington for your 2011 16 to 18-year-old Senior Babe Ruth World Series. And we got San Gabriel coming to the plate at the bottom of the second. We have no score between them and the host team, Columbia Basin River Dogs. Coming up to the plate is Troy Prezertzit, which is the left fielder for San Gabriel, and he'll look at a low pitch from Stockton Taylor for ball one. Brazertzit. That's one where I have to look at the definition page that they got here for us. It breaks down the syllables, even though I was saying it 2 years ago. And he fouls the next pitch back, so evening up the count at 1-1. So Troy has been here for, it's the second time I've seen him, just up here in the Moses Lake and Ephrata now. Next pitch on the way is in the dirt for 2 balls and 1 strike. With some of the Surrey, that's a popular name that I saw the last time. Here's the next pitch on the way for Stockton Taylor. Outside. 3-1 now the count on Troy. Where's number 24 on his back? Here's your next pitch. Outside also. Leadoff walk for Prezertzit, and that's going to bring up Nick Wagner, the second baseman, number 27. So getting a couple more baseballs as the umpire, and going out and calling the play is going to be catcher Matt Noyola. Let the guys know in the infield what we're going to be doing here. And then that'll bring up Wagner to step up to the plate. Stockton looks over at first base and throws over there just to keep Prazerzit close to the bag. Stockton comes set. Pitch on the way, and Wagner will hit it out towards right field, and I think we've lost it. And he has, and it drops into fair play. And he knew right away that Davis Engel, now they got two guys. They're going to at least try to get Wagner caught up, and they will get him out at second base. So what happened was the ball got skied straight up in the air. Chris Walker never did see the ball. Davis Engel knew that and was on a dead haul the whole time out there towards the field after he saw that Chris Walker didn't pick it up at all. He got out there and actually was the one that fielded it out in right field. What happened is there's confusion then between Prazerzit and Nick Wagner, and Prazerzit was still on second base, and they both kind of got there. So Troy ended up over at third base during this ordeal, and Wagner got thrown out at second when they finally angled. There's a base hit up the middle for Andrew Medina, and that's going to bring Troy Prazerzit home. So the first run does score for San Gabriel. So one away, and Medina down at first base with an RBI single. That's going to bring up pitcher number 7, Kai Edson, the pitcher. So you could see, as soon as that ball went up in the air, it was kind of heading for the line, but it was going to be in play, you could tell. And Chris Walker was still out there in right field, kind of like not moving or running or sprinting at all. There was a ball lost last night also in the game, but it was by the other team. Here's a bunt coming, and it was a foul, because halfway down the line was Medina, but he's working his way back to first base. So Kai Edson is sitting there trying to move up his runner. He's not trying to fool anybody. He's in the bunt position already, and they'll throw over to first base. And getting back in plenty of time is Medina. So Edson trying to advance Medina 90 feet up the line. Squares around already, and there's the pitch. Stockton, and it is fouled off. So he's got 2 strikes on him now. We'll see if he swings away or if he tries to lay it down again. 1 away here in the bottom half of the second, and 1 in. And 1 on. 0-2 the count on Edson. 9th hitter in the order. Stockton Taylor looks over, comes to the plate, and he is going to try to, but he pulls it back, and snap throw down by Noyola, and they had a chance over there, but back in time was Andrew Medina down at first base. And Edson was squared around the bunt, but pulled it back on the ball. Your next pitch from Taylor is actually going to be a throw over to keep Medina close over at first base. Good crowd, nice night here in Ephrata. No breeze, just the right temperature to be outside. And there goes the runner, and he tries, and he does bunt it, and it's going to go and get picked up by Taylor. So 2 outs as he throws out Edson over at first base, but he does what he's trying to do, and that's move the runner up into scoring position. So Kai Edson, even with 2 strikes, moves up the runner. And that's going to lead us to the leadoff hitter, Mark Satzer, number 14, the first baseman. The first time up, he flew out to the center fielder, Rico Moreno. Satzer, a left-hander, Taking a few practice cuts. Now he'll step in. Medina with his lead out at second. Taylor looks in to get his sign. Looks back at the runner at second. Here's the pitch. Outside for ball one. Bottom of the second, 1-0 San Gabriel over Columbia Basin right now. 2 away. And Medina out at second base. Stockton Taylor looks at the shortstop back there and throws another pitch. Ball 2. 2-0 on Satzer. Want to remind you that you can actually watch this on the internet feed also. On video on www.columbiabasinherald.com, iFiber Channel 1, and also cbhtv.mobi. Here's the next pitch, and it's going to be 3-0 now on Satzer. Medina out at second. 3-0 is your count with 2 outs on Satzer at the plate here in the bottom half of the second inning. Taylor comes set. Here's your pitch. That ball is hit between left and center field, and it's going to make its way all the way to the wall. Over picking it up is now Moreno. And in with a double is Satzer, so an RBI double for Satzer as Andrew Medina comes around to score, and your score is now 2-0 San Gabriel over Columbia Basin. Well-struck ball into the gap for Satzer. That's going to bring up number 25, Nick Cooksey, the third baseman for San Gabriel. And he'll step in with 2 outs, see if he can have a little more 2-out magic. Taylor looks in. Next pitch on the way is outside for ball 1. 1-0 now on Cooksey. Out at second base is Satzer. 2 out in the inning. 2-0's your score, bottom of the second. There's a swing and a foul back by Cooksey. Count now 1-1 with 2 outs in the bottom half of the second. So Taylor looking to try to get him out of the inning here so they can get back up and see if they can get some runs of their own for Columbia Basin. And outside, 2-1 now the count. Crowd starting to get into it a little bit. Want a little bit of help. Ball looked pretty outside to me. Might be getting a little chirping going on from Coach Gabe Boroff a little bit as the umpire calls time and then goes over and has something to say over to the Columbia Basin dugout. And if I know Gabe, he probably was. And here's the next pitch on the way is low, outside for ball 3, 3-1. 3-1's your count with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the second. Taylor looks in. Cooksey gets ready. And he'll hit it out towards right field. And in to make the play is Chris Walker, and he will bring it in. So that will be the 3rd out of the inning, but not before 2 will come across. And after 2 complete innings of play, it's San Gabriel, California 2, Columbia Basin 0. This is the 2011 16 to 18-year-old Senior Babe Ruth World Series Broadcasting Network. We'll be right back after a minute and a half.
Come join the fun the third weekend of September at Odessa's 41st Annual Deutsches Fest. Enjoy authentic German food, games for the kids and for the adults, beer gardens, and great music throughout the entire weekend. Located at the crossroads of Highways 21 and 28, Odessa is 72 miles west of Spokane and 45 miles east of Moses Lake. Bring the whole family. There's something for everyone at this year's Deutsches Fest in Odessa.
We are real students, and this really is our college.
My dream will change the outcome of my life.
My college is allowing me to achieve my dream.
My dream is to be a pilot.
My dream is to be a nurse.
Only you can determine your dream. Big Ben will help you get there.
What's your dream?
Welcome back, Senior Babe Ruth fans, as we've got your 2011 16 to 18-year-old Senior Babe Ruth World Series here in Ephrata, Washington at Johnson O'Brien Stadium. Stadium's looking great. Right now, the score is 2-0 San Gabriel, California over the River Dogs. We're going into the top half of the third, and the first River Dog up to the plate will be Rick Moreno. Number 10, the center fielder, and he'll look at strike one from the Submariner Kai Edson. Edson so far has not given up a hit in 2 innings. Next pitch, swing and a miss. Strike two. 0-2, nobody out here in the top half of the third. Just getting started in the inning. And that pitch is outside. So the lefty against the righty Submariner. 1-2 is the count on Moreno. That pitch is inside, so 2-2 now is your count. Enrico. On deck is going to be number 5, Davis Engel. And your 2-2 delivery from Edson is a swing and a miss for a strikeout. And the ball goes down and kind of pops out of the third baseman's gloves. So coming up is going to be leadoff hitter Davis Engel, the second baseman. And the pitch, Davis is inside and bounces back. Nobody on, so umpire gives a new baseball out to Edson. Last time up, Engel grounded out to second base. And the next pitch is low for ball one, or ball two. 2-0 now the count on Engel. Next pitch is outside. As I was saying during the break, is I think the reason that Gabe was kind of letting the umpire kind of know about it is that when you're a Submariner, those pitches, and there's ball 4, those pitches are actually on the outside, going towards the outside too. And I think what Gabe was feeling is that since those called ball, a lot of those are getting called as strikes, that the ones on the outside corner when Stockton was throwing out there, I think that's what the reason was for the comments. So Engel down at first base with the free pass, and that's going to bring up number 22, Cameron Alvarado, the shortstop. And there's a throw, a pretty high throw, but coming down with it was Sautzer from Edson on the throw over there for Davis Engel. Engel's got a good-sized lead over there. I would say he's probably got about almost a 3-step lead. And there's another throw back, and in time is Engel. He is having to dive back quite a ways. Now only out by about 2.5 steps. Edson looks over and comes to the plate. Swinging and missing is Alvarado. Alvarado walked the last time up. Counts now 0-1 on him with one away here in the top half of the third. River Dogs still looking for their first base hit off of Edson. There's another throw over to first base. The next pitch, nope, another throw back over, a little bit closer to Engel over at first base. Davis trying to be a distraction over at first there. He is their leadoff hitter. He's got some pretty good wheels. And that pitch is not really a pitch out, but it was high. And kind of a snap throw back down to first base afterwards. And back in plenty of time was Engel. Counts now 1-1 on Alvarado, the shortstop for Columbia Basin. And he'll foul the next pitch straight back for now a 1-2 count. Alvarado earlier this year ended up hitting .417, so one of the better batting averages on the team was Alvarado. And Engel is out. As they kept throwing back over there, Engel was off on a serious lead, and looks like Coach Dave Johnson isn't pleased about that, and I don't think that Gabe will either. They're trying to get something started of being a couple runs down, and one thing to distract the pitcher, and it's another one to get picked off over at first base. So 2 away. And Alvarado has got a count of 1-2 on him up to the plate. Outside, ball 2, 2-2. Hold camera on Alvarado. Alvarado had about 6 home runs. He looks to be the home run leader on the team. The ball is fouled down the right field side. So 6 home runs for Alvarado. Yamani has about 3 for the year. Walker has a couple. Stockton Taylor has 1. Got a couple for Garza, Dylan Garza. There's a hit down the left field side, getting past a diving third baseman there of Cooksey. And in with a stand-up double is Alvarado. And that's why you don't want to get picked off at first base, because that probably might have given a chance. Davis might have been held up at third, but it would have given him a chance to get around to score. So with 2 outs, there's a double, and that's going to bring up number 11, Stockton Taylor. So they're calling out the seat of the house. The seat of the house here at the stadium is a big lazy boy down in left field that you get to have a pizza and you get to sit in the lazy boy. They call it the seat of the house there, and it comes from the tickets that they sell. And there's Stockton Taylor's going to ground out to second base, and plenty of time Wagner throws him over, and there's the end of the inning. So 4-3's the put out on Stockton Taylor. And after having a man in scoring position, having a couple aboard, they leave only 1 left on. And after 2.5 innings of play, it's the San Gabriel, California 2 and Columbia Basin River Dogs 0. This is the 2011 16 to 18-year-old Senior Babe Ruth World Series Broadcasting Network. We'll be right back in about 90 seconds.
Come on down to the 2011 Grant County Fair. Tons of fun for the family and lots of activities and crafts, food and livestock, the Moses Lake Rodeo Roundup and the Demo Derby, and lots of other stuff. The 2011 Fair will be held between August 16th through August 20th. So come on down and bring the family. You can find us at the fairgrounds here in Moses Lake. Come join the fun the third weekend of September at Odessa's 41st Annual Deutsches Fest. Enjoy authentic German food, games for the kids, and for the adults, beer gardens, and great music throughout the entire weekend. Located at the crossroads of Highways 21 and 28, Odessa is 72 miles west of Spokane and 45 miles east of Moses Lake. Bring the whole family. There's something for everyone at this year's Deutsches Fest in Odessa.
Welcome back, Senior Babe Ruth fans. We're here in the bottom half of the third where San Gabriel is ahead by a score of 2-0 over the Columbia Basin River Dogs. And they're going to send Brennan Salgado, the catcher. And he looks at his first pitch as a strike on the outside corner. And Salgado is kind of disgusted, and because he's the catcher. He's actually been watching a lot of the stuff that's been called straw balls and strikes and couldn't help but to show a little bit of disdain on that call. Next pitch on the way from Taylor, and that pitch is definitely over for strike two. 0-2 now the count on Salgado. Salgado's a good-sized kid. Catcher hits from the left-hand side. Watched him hit a home run yesterday's ball game. Taylor goes into his windup. Next pitch on the way is swung on and miss. So 3 pitches and 3 strikes for Salgado, and down he goes. So that's going to bring up number 33, Troy Mulcahy, the center fielder for San Gabriel. I do believe that Mulcahy, I didn't write down, but I think he might have had a hit or a walk the last time up, and he hits one a long ways down the right line, foul. So Mulcahy sits back in, the cleanup hitter for San Gabriel. Next pitch on the way from Taylor. And that ball is fouled straight back into the screen for 0-2. So Taylor coming out throwing strikes, 5 in a row to be exact. Mulcahy actually lifted his front foot to tee off on that ball. And so getting out a little bit and ahead and committing. Next pitch on the way is wasted outside and high for ball 1. 1-2 to Troy Mulcahy. Good crowd going on out here. Lots of people here for the community. I want to thank you all. I want to thank you for listening. 1-2 is the count with 1 away here in the bottom of the third, and that pitch is high for ball 2. 2-2 and 1 out here in the bottom of the third. 2-0 is your score. San Gabriel leading Columbia Basin River Dogs right now. Also leading by 4 hits to 1, yes. Stockton Taylor's next pitch on the way is going to be fouled off also down the right field line and out of play. And we just want to remind you that the 2011 National Babe Ruth World Series can also be watched on www.columbiabasinherald.com or iFiber Channel 1, as well as on your mobile at cbhtv.mobi. That pitch looks like it's also going to work its way out of play towards the right, and it does. Count still 2-2 on Mulcahy. 1 away, nobody on here in the bottom of the third. 2-0's your score. San Gabriel over Columbia Basin right now. On deck is number 12, Elliott Surrey. And that ball is going to be hit the opposite direction and foul down the left field side. That one was a little bit closer. And I was starting to wonder because Mulcahy was actually already about halfway down to second base, like he was cruising in for a double. But I would say it was probably fouled by a good 3.5 feet. Out going to talk to Stockton Taylor is Matt Noyola. Talk about the pitch selection to a guy who really commits when he swings and takes that big front foot off the ground and really stomps towards that pitch when he gets ready to let it go. A lot of power from Mulcahy. And swing and a miss. Ball was in the dirt, and they will throw it down to first base and get him. And so that'll be the second out of the inning for Mulcahy, and that's 2 straight strikeouts for Stockton Taylor. That's going to bring up number 12, Elliott Surrey, the right fielder. Surrey last time hit to the first baseman for the last out of the first inning. Pitch from Taylor. Strike, outside corner. Surrey sits in at the left-hand position there in the left-handed batter's box. 1 hit for the River Dogs, 4 hits for San Gabriel. And he'll foul that one off down the left field side and out of play. Count now 0-2 on Surrey. One thing Stockton Taylor is doing this go-around is he is throwing strikes this inning. He only needed 3 to get Salgado. He quickly got out on Mulcahy by a couple. A lot of foul balls, and now 2 strikes on Elliott Surrey. And strike 3, but that's going to make its way, and he's going to get on this time. Yeah, and it went all the way to the backstop, and catcher picked it up and threw it down there, but not in time to get Surrey. Surrey is aboard after the strikeout on the passed ball. So that's going to bring up number 24, Troy Prozorcit. I'm gonna go with the announcer in the other room there. Prozorcit. For all the family members out there, I apologize for butchering that, as well as any other names I might be doing so. Throw over there to keep Elliott Surrey close by. Next pitch to Troy is strike. 0-1 now the count with 2 away here. In the bottom half of the third, never like to give a team like San Gabriel 4 outs. And that's what they're doing for sure, at least here in the inning, the Columbia Basin River Dogs. Next pitch is fouled away. Surrey looked like he was taken off with the pitch. Surrey's down there on the pass ball with a strikeout. Nick Wagner, the second baseman, number 27's on deck. 2-0's your score, San Gabriel over the host Columbia Basin River Dogs. Next pitch from Taylor. And they're going to throw down to second base. What happened was it was a delayed steal, and so the catcher came up and was going to throw it back towards first like he had him picked over there, and so Noyola thought he had him there. But the problem is that once he did that with the delayed steal, there was really nobody ready to go at second base. They had to wait for Davis Engel and for Cameron Alvarado to close in on second base, so making down safely is Elliott Surrey, now in scoring position. So Prozorcit is going to try to get another run here. And he calls time as he was waiting for Taylor to throw while looking back at Surrey. So he'll step back in. 1-2's the count with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the third. Surrey down at second. Here's the throw. And another strikeout and another throw down to first base, and they will get it this time. 4 strikeouts in the inning. Only 3 of them for outs, and that will end it as Surrey is down at second base. So after 3 complete innings, it's still San Gabriel, California 2, Columbia Basin River Dogs 0. This is this 2011 16 to 18-year-old Senior Babe Ruth World Series Broadcasting Network. We'll be right back in 90 seconds.
We are real students, and this really is our college.
My dream will change the outcome of my life.
My college is allowing me to achieve my dream.
My dream is to be a pilot.
My dream is to be a nurse.
Only you can determine your dream. Big Ben will help you get there.
What's your dream?
Welcome back, Senior Babe Ruth fans, and up to the plate right now is Chris Walker as we go into the top half of the fourth, and he's got a couple of strikes on him as we were away a little bit there. He looks at ball one. So 1-2 now on Walker. The score is 2-0 San Gabriel right now after 3 complete, and Columbia Basin looking to see if they can come back and get something started here. Edson's next pitch on the way is a ball for 2-2. On Chris Walker. Walker last time up. Actually I didn't get that. And he'll look at ball 3. Walker, so far for the season, is hitting .435, has a couple home runs. I would say he's probably about the leader in average for the team. Is the cleanup hitter. He's up there with a full count now after being down 0-2. And he'll watch ball 4. It must have been low. It wasn't too far off. So number 18 makes his way down to first base to lead things off, and so the first runner aboard for the Columbia Basin River Dogs. That's going to bring up number 21, Josh Snyder, the first baseman for Columbia Basin. You can tune in and watch the game also, and you can watch it on www.columbiabasinherald.com as well as iFiber Channel 1 or CBH TV on your mobile. There's a hit towards the third baseman. It's going to get by, so the Columbia Basin, with only its second hit in the ball game coming from Snyder and making his way down to second base, is Chris Walker. 2 aboard, nobody out here for the River Dogs. That's going to bring up Jacob Yamane. Number 35, the left fielder for Columbia Basin. And Salgado will go back out and talk to Edson a little bit about the situation. And Yamane has a .302 average for the year. Does have about 3 home runs. Wouldn't be a bad time to have one about right now. Edson's delivery on the way. Shows bunt and pulls it back. I believe ball 1. So Yamane looking to move up the runners for Noyola. And Noyola sitting in the on-deck circle. And pick-off move, and really only about 2 steps away from the bag out there is Chris Walker. Over at first base is Josh Snyder from his single. Past a diving Nick Cooksey. And another fake bunt and another called ball. So 2-0 is the count now on Yamane. No outs here in the top half of the fourth. 2-0 is your score. San Gabriel, California over the Columbia Basin River Dogs. Third base, first base, getting ready to come in. Here he squares around the bunt, and he pulls it back on 3-0. So 3-0 the count now on Yamane. Nobody out here in the top half of the fourth. Don't look for the bunt here on 3-0. He might give the old fake. And ball 4. So the bases are now loaded after 4 straight balls from Edson to Yamane. And that's going to bring up Matt Noyola. And that's going to bring out also Torres and bring them all in. And Noyola has actually got only hit about .213 for the River Dogs for the season. And it appears that he'll go down and he'll be speaking to Coach Gabe. And as we have our little talk on the mound, just wanted to say that we've had a beautiful tournament thus far with lots of great weather. The breeze has only been during the day, and it's been during the hot days, so nobody complaining there. And then at nighttime, it's completely dead. I noticed after we had the fireworks last night, we had a little bit of breeze when I started heading back home. It's like somebody's actually turning on the air conditioning and turning it off when we need to. And so the good Lord has blessed us with some pretty good weather going on right now here for the 2011 16-18 Senior Babe Ruth baseball here at Ephrata. And that will have Noyola stepping in. And he'll swing and miss at the first pitch he sees, count 0-1. Nobody out, bases loaded here in the top half of the fourth, and the Columbia Basin River Dogs seeing what they can do to get things started. And that ball is outside for ball 1. 1-1 now is the count on Noyola from Edson. Down at third is Walker, Snyder at second, Yamane at third, or at first. And Noyola will look at ball 2, missing on the outside quarter. 2-1 now the count. Nobody out. The base is juiced. Next pitch from Edson is a fake from third to first. And the crowd wants the balk. Not so sure he didn't actually do it, because Dave Johnson's been around forever and a day, and he's looking at the umpire telling him, you can't do that. Swing and a miss. 2-2 now the count on Yamane. Or excuse me, Noyola. Noyola up there with the bases loaded. Yamane's over at first, Snyder at second, Walker at third, and strike 3. Swing and a miss. So unfortunately, Noyola couldn't capitalize on up the .213 batting average. That's going to bring up Armando De Leon. And Armando De Leon, it's about .276 for the year. Looking to get a base hit. 1 away, bases loaded still. Swing and a miss. Both of them are aggressive. Both Noyola and De Leon taking good hacks, but they're hitting over the top of the Submariners pitch in Edson. And kind of a fake back towards second is Edson. Goes back into a stretch. And there's a ball that's hit back. They're going to go to home, to first. No, it's thrown up the line. That's going to bring in some runs, and it gets by the right fielder. The runner's going to keep coming around. And there's no throw to the plate, and we got ourselves 2 runs coming across. 2 runs come across. And out to second goes DeLeon as he hit that, and then when they tried to throw it to first base, they overthrew first base. The right fielder, it went past him too. Coming in to score was Josh Snyder, who was on second, and coming in to score was Yamani, who was on first. Out at the plate was Chris Walker, as it was hit back to the pitcher. The pitcher picked it up, went to home. It was supposed to be a home-to-first double play. So score at 1-2 on the second out of the inning, but two will come in to score, and DeLeon will now be down at second base. That's going to bring up Ricky Moreno. Ricky Moreno, number 10, the ninth batter of the order and center fielder. And so two are in the inning, and we have ourselves a tie ball game. All right. And Moreno will come back in. And now they got new life. Actually, we've got, no, that doesn't seem right. They got 3 runs. I don't think we got 3 runs. And there was a stab bunt attempt. There's only 1 out. Okay, so what happened is that they said that they must have missed at first base or at home plate. I'm not in the press box, folks, so you're going to have to bear with me, but I'm looking at the scoreboard. It's now 3-2, which means they said that Walker came across and that that the catcher did not step on home plate when he actually got the ball and tossed it into right field, because there is only 1 out in the inning. Out at second is DeLeon, and so the only out of the inning is Noyola. And so Chris Walker did come in to score. He was not the second out of the inning. There is only the 1 out. 3-2 now your score, Columbia Basin. So that's what they were talking about earlier. And there's a hit in between the shortstop and third baseman. And they're going to go ahead and hold up DeLeon. And out going to second now and getting caught in the hot box is Moreno. And he is in the hot box. And staying at third base is going to be DeLeon. They did not want to start getting into hot boxes at home. So over at third base now is DeLeon. Moreno tried to take second base after his base hit. That ain't going to please the coaches, because they'd much rather have guys at first and third right now with only 1 away. But he was thrown out going down to second after a hot box. And that's going to bring up Davis Engel, number 5, the leadoff hitter, to see if he can go ahead and get something to score DeLeon, who's now down at third base. So the Columbia Basin River Dogs are ahead by a score of 3-2 right now. Off of bases clearing error, error as it turns out. Davis Engel fouls the first pitch off, so 0-1 the count. 2 out here in the top half of the 4th, 3 in. 3-2 is your score. The big play was the bases loaded, ball back to the pitcher, pitcher threw it to the catcher. Catcher wasn't standing on first and then tossed it into right field. So Salgado, and then it got by the right fielder Elliott Surrey out there, allowing even more to come around to score. Next pitch was in the dirt, so it's now 1-1 on Davis Engel. Inside, ball 2, 2-1 now. Come on down and watch some baseball. The Columbia Basin River Dogs are playing also on Monday and Wednesday at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Davis swings and almost comes out of his shoes there, fouls it off. Count goes to 2-2 with 2 outs here in the top half of the 4th inning. Like to be able to get that run in right there. Yeah, San Gabriel's a very tough team and is probably not done scoring. And there's a base hit between first and second, and that'll do it. So 4-2 now is your score, Columbia Basin. Coming through with a few base hits, Davis Engel. That's going to bring up Cameron Alvarado, number 22, your shortstop. Ball hit between Satzer and Wagner. Surrey picked it up, bring it back into the infield. So the Columbia Basin River Dogs taking the advantage of the most of their opportunity right now while they got people in scoring position. Engel now down at first base. 4 hits apiece. And that ball goes all the way to the backstop. Actually went behind Alvarado, didn't hit him. And so down to second goes Davis Engel. Right now, Chris Walker left off this inning, so Alvarado is actually the 8th batter to come to the plate this inning. On deck will be Stockton Taylor. That ball is inside also. 2-0 on Alvarado. Now out in scoring position. Looking for another base hit. Alvarado leads the team also in home runs. There is an outside corner strike 1. 2-1 now the count on Alvarado. 2 away here in the top half of the 4th. All 4 runs coming the top half of this inning for the Columbia Basin River Dogs. Both runs coming in the 2nd inning for San Gabriel so far. Inside. Ball 3, 3-1 now the count. Taylor over on deck. Three errors on San Gabriel right now. Called ball 4. Pretty close pitch on the inside. And down to first goes Cameron Alvarado. That's going to bring up Stockton Taylor. He'll be the 9th man to the plate here in the 4th. So he'll see if he can actually figure out Edson as he's grounded out to second, and he's also struck out. Swing and a miss. Hard cut from Stockton, who's the number 3 hitter for Columbia Basin River Dogs. Taylor hit .375 for the year. Here's the next pitch on the way. Fouled back. Stockton hasn't been able to figure out Edson so far in his at-bats. Hopefully he'll get a good one timed here for the Columbia Basin River Dogs. Edson still going the distance for San Gabriel. Looking for the... It's got 1-1 is the count up there. And there's a pickoff move back to second, and that ball is not going to get far enough away for the runners to advance. So they tried to pick off Davis Engel out at second base, and why not? He was already picked off earlier in the 3rd by Kai Edson. So Kai Edson gets back on the mound. Davis takes his lead as well as Alvarado does at first. That ball's inside for 3 balls and 1 strike now on Stockton. All right. I think there was 2-2. I think the umpire might have called 2-2 right there. Yeah, it's 2-2. He's trying, there we go. Trying to get the scoreboard people to correct it. 2-2 now, the count on Stockton Taylor. And he'll take a look back at Davis Engel at second base. Top of the 4th, 4-2, Columbia Basin leading San Gabriel. Taylor is next delivery on the way. He takes a hack and a half, and he must have fouled it off because with a 2-2 count, otherwise this inning would be over. New baseball goes out to Kai Edson. And Stockton Taylor goes ahead and heads back up to the plate. And another move out there towards Davis Engel. At second, just trying to keep him honest. And he comes set. 2-2 delivery. And a hit out towards second. And Wagner flips it towards, oh! And here's a play at home. And he's safe. And the Columbia Basin River Dogs are just beating some very close plays. Out at second base, there was a feed from Wagner to Medina. The problem is the ball was actually tossed way too high in the air, so by the time the runner slid in, and by the time Medina caught the ball in the bag, it went to the runner. And then coming home was a very close play, but sliding underneath the tag of Salgado was Davis Engel on his way home. So two very, very close plays. And so Davis Engel scoring on the play, and out at second now is Alvarado, and over at first on, gosh, I guess you'd have to call it. There's a base hit down towards the right field line by Chris Walker, and it gets by Surrey. And so Surrey is going to come up with the ball, and Walker is going to stay at second. And coming in to score also is Stockton Taylor, so two more will score for the Columbia Basin River Dogs. On a base hit by Chris Walker down the right field line, Surrey missed the ball, and it went behind him, allowing the runners to come around and score. It would have allowed Alvarado to score anyways, but that was the 10th batter in the inning, and they are going to continue to stay with Edson at this particular time. And Chris Walker in on second after the ball got by Surrey. They held him up there, which was smart. He would have been thrown out at third. Josh Snyder then comes up to the plate. So 2 outs, lots of damage, 7 in for the River Dogs in the top half of the fourth. And he hits him. He hits Snyder, and Snyder will go down to first base on a hit pitch. So runners at first and second right now. And I think Torres doesn't know exactly what to do. Do you go out? Do you waste some pitching? Do you go ahead and take your best step at beating the other two teams? Do you hope that your hitting comes back and beats Columbia Basin, which San Gabriel has got a very good hitting ball club? It could definitely happen, but he's going to stay with Kai Edson. And there's a pitch to Jacob Yamane, who walked the last time up, and he'll look at strike one. So 2 outs still here in the top half of the fourth. And runners aboard first and second right now for the River Dogs and Walker, and there's that foul off and out of play for Yamane, making it 0-2. Walker down at second, Josh Snyder over at first. 7 in on the inning, 7-2 your score right now in the top half of the fourth. Columbia Basin leading San Gabriel. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball one. So 7-2 is your score right now. Columbia Basin leading San Gabriel, California, looking to try to get their second straight win. Looking to tack on a lot more. This team can come back and they can score runs. Down low. Ball two. 2-2. 2 out here. Top half of the fourth. I want to remind you that you can actually view these games also on www.columbiabasinherald.com or iFiber Channel 1 or on your mobile at cbhtv.mobi. M-O-B-I. 2-2 delivery is fouled off and out of play to the right-hand side over here, so the count remains at 2-2 on Yamane. The left fielder and the 12th batter to come to the plate here for the River Dogs in the fourth. Still only 5-4 in hits. That's going to be back to the pitcher. And he'll run it over and toss it up to Sotzer. So the end of the inning comes to a close, but not before 7 runs will come across for the Columbia Basin River Dogs, and the hometown crowd is enjoying it a lot. Now they need to go back out and try to hold San Gabriel. So after 3.5 innings of play, it's Columbia Basin River Dogs 7, San Gabriel, California 2. This is the 2011 16 to 18-year-old Senior Babe Ruth World Series Broadcasting Network. We'll be right back in about a minute and a half.
Come on down to the 2011 Grant County Fair. Tons of fun for the family and lots of activities and crafts, food and livestock, the Moses Lake Rodeo Roundup and the Demo Derby, and lots of other stuff. The 2011 Fair will be held between August 16th through August 20th. So come on down and bring the family. You can find us at the fairgrounds here in Moses Lake. Come join the fun the third weekend of September at Odessa's 41st Annual Deutsches Fest. Enjoy authentic German food, games for the kids and for the adults, beer gardens, and great music throughout the entire weekend. Located at the crossroads of Highways 21 and 28, Odessa is 72 miles west of Spokane and 45 miles east of Moses Lake.
Senior Babe Ruth fans, we're here in Ephrata, Washington for your 2011 16 to 18-year-old Senior Babe Ruth World Series. And we have Nick Wagner, the second baseman, coming up, and he looked at strike one from Stockton Taylor here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Next pitch on the way is outside for ball 1. 1-1 now the count. Score is 7-2, Columbia Basin River Dogs over San Gabriel. All 7 runs coming in the last half of inning. All 2 runs came in for San Gabriel on the bottom of the 2nd. So Taylor with the 1-1 delivery is, that ball is tattooed with no wind. That might get out of here. It doesn't. It hits the wall down in left center. So standing up with a double is Nick Wagner for San Gabriel. So coming right back is San Gabriel getting man in leadoff position and running scoring position right off the bat. And that's going to bring up number 10, Andrew Medina, the shortstop. Andrew last time had himself a single, scored one of the 2 runs in the 2nd. Taylor's pitch, it's high, ball 1. 1-0. So just to kind of give you a little bit of a recap what's taken place so far in the tournament, we are in our 2nd day. The first day saw Onondaga, New York, beat San Gabriel yesterday by a score of 3-2 in their first opening game. Next pitch in is a strike to Medina for a 1-1 count. Out at second base is Nick Wagner off his leadoff double. Second game was Portland beating Noblesville, Indiana, in 8 innings by a score of 4-3. Puget Sound then won 11-3 over Eagle Pass, Texas. Next pitch on the way. Wow. That didn't miss by much. Ball 2, 2-1 to Andrew Medina. And then the 4th game last night was Ottumwa and the River Dogs, and the River Dogs won that one the bottom of the 7th by a score of 4-3 after it was 3-3, deadlocked for a little bit. Next pitch on the way from Taylor, and Medina hits it down to the first baseman, and it eats the first baseman. And coming in to score on the play is Nick Wagner. So the score now is 7-3. And the ball, I've seen quite a few of them do that over there. Medina hits the ball towards first base, and Josh Snyder wasn't able to come up with it. It kind of took a hop up on him. And so over with the base hit is Medina with his second base hit of the day. That's going to bring up, is it Kai Edson? Or nope, it's going to be a pinch hitter. Number 2. Number 2 for San Gabriel is going to be Ted Bokey. Ted Bokey is going to pinch hit for Kai Edson. Not surprising, because the whole time that Kai was up, he was pretty much trying just to bunt over the runner. And they do have the re-entry rules. So here's Bokey looking at strike 1 from Stockton Taylor. So two straight hits and 1 run is in. Nobody out so far here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. 7-3 is your score. Another throw back over there to first base to keep Andrew Medina close by. Shortstop, I'm sure he has pretty good wheels. And the next pitch delivery. Swing and a miss by Bokey. 0-2 now the count. So 0-2 on Ted. Up next will be Mark Sotzer, the leadoff hitter and first baseman. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. There's another throw over there to keep Medina close over at first base. And then today's games are Portland beat Team Cape Cod in Game 5 in the first game of the day, 7-0. And then Mobile, Alabama won 10-0 against Onondaga, New York. There's a foul straight back to keep the count still 0-2 on Bokey. And then the game right before this one was Noblesville 6 and Puget Sound 2. So a lot of 1-1 teams going on right now. Noblesville won, Puget Sound won yesterday, lost today. Mobile, Alabama is their first game. And there's a foul straight back. Runner was taking off with the pitch, and Medina, he'll have to head back to first. Count still 0-2 on Bokey. 7-3 is your score. Nobody out here in the bottom half of the 4th. Columbia Basin River Dogs leading San Gabriel, California. So Portland's the only team right now. It looks to be about 2-0. That's the way it stands. Stockton Taylor. Next pitch. High. 1-2 now the count on Ted Bokey. Want to remind you that you can also be watching this broadcast, and there's another pickoff attempt, a bit back in time as Medina. 2011 National Babe Ruth World Series can be also watched on www.columbiabasinherald.com or on iFiber Channel 1 or on cbhtv.mobile. Another throw over to first base. So the count still is 1-2 on Ted Bokey. Number 9, he's pinch hitting for Kai Edson right now. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. 1 in. Ball 2. Inside. 2-2 the count. On deck, first baseman Mark Sotzer. Stockton Taylor will go back to first base again and keep Medina back. Little bit of a breeze blowing out. First time I've seen the flag kind of going out towards the left a little bit more. Each time it gets a little bit closer over there at first base. Stockton Taylor goes back over there again. And your pitch to Bokey, 2-2, is hit well. That might be gone. Nope, it's caught by the center fielder. It's really having a hard time anything getting out of this yard, especially out towards left center. That was out there towards the warning track, but underneath it was Rico Moreno as it hung up there for a long time. That ball was hit a long way. So pinch hitting and doing his job as far as trying to give it a ride was Bokey, but it does get caught by Columbia Basin center fielder Rico Moreno. And that's going to bring up Mark Sautzer, the leadoff hitter for San Gabriel. Wow, giving that ball a ride. And there's another pickoff attempt over Medina. That has to be at least 6 or 7. And Sautzer so far has got himself a double and is flown out to Moreno himself. Outside for ball 1. 1-0. 1 down now in the bottom half of the 4th inning. 7-3 is your score. Columbia Basin River Dogs leading San Gabriel, California. 1 runner on in Medina. Leadoff hitter up in Sautzer. Taylor comes to the plate. Swing and a miss. Actually, probably got a piece of it in a foul ball. 1-1 now, the count on Sautzer. Nick Cooksey will be on deck. The third baseman, number 25 for San Gabriel. Taylor comes to the plate, and that's going to be fouled off, so the count now will be 1-2 on Sautzer. 1 down, 1 on. Bottom of the 4th. Columbia Basin River Dogs erupting for 7 runs in the top half of the 4th inning. They still only have 5 hits. 6 hits for San Gabriel. Score is 7-3. Ball's high. 2-2 now your count to Sautzer. So Stockton Taylor, he's taking his time. He's looking over, trying to keep the runner on. Come set. Next pitch on the way is a foul ball as it gets hit off of Sautzer. And looks like it might have went off his foot. Count remains at 2-2. So we got action going up through next Saturday. We are in our 2nd day of pool play. On Monday tomorrow, we have at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we have Cape Cod versus Noblesville. Indiana, we got at 2 p.m. we got Portland versus Eagle Pass, Texas. At 5 p.m. we got San Gabriel here going against Ottumwa, Iowa. And here's your 2-2 delivery. And it's hit out towards second. Davis Engel over to the shortstop Alvarado, over to first base of Snyder, and they will turn it as it was sharply hit towards Engel. And out of the inning after giving up 1 run are the River Dogs. So Sautzer hits into the 4-6-3 double play. And so that will end the inning for San Gabriel, but not before they get a run. So it's Columbia Basin 7 and San Gabriel 3 after 4 complete. This is the 2011 16 to 18-year-old Senior Babe Ruth World Series Broadcasting Network. Will be back in about 90 seconds. I hear the one.
Bring the whole family. There's something for everyone at this year's Deutsches Fest in Odessa.
We are real students, and this really is our college.
My dream will change the outcome of my life.
My college is allowing me to achieve my dream.
My dream is to be a pilot.
My dream is to be a nurse.
Only you can determine your dream. Big Ben will help you get there.
What's your dream?
Scored the 7th one, I think, if I remember correctly.
Senior Babe Ruth fans, we're here in Ephrata, Washington, where we've got your 16 to 18-year-old Senior Babe Ruth World Series broadcasting going on. And we're still doing the YMCA as we got ourselves a long warm-up. Usually I'm telling you about the first couple pitches. But right now we're still working on getting Columbia Basin to come up to their at-bats. And so we'll have our pitch down to the second baseman coming up here pretty quick. Well, you can also watch the games going on as they're being broadcasted here, and you can watch them on the www.columbiabasinherald.com or cbhtv.mobile iFiber or iFiber Channel 1. And so YMCA is back on the Blair in there. But that's going to bring up our first batter for the inning, and that's going to be Matt Noyola, the catcher. The River Dogs sent 12 people to the plate last inning, scored 7 runs, so that's where they'd like to take over. Now we got a new pitcher on the mound for San Gabriel, and that might have been why we were getting a little bit more of a warm-up going. Looks like to be number 2, and number 2 is going to be Bokey, Ted Bokey, who did the hitting there and almost drove the ball out. So put Bokey in, and that was a pretty close pitch that was just called for ball 2. So Ted Bokey now on the mound for San Gabriel after taking over hitting duties there in the 9th position. And, ooh, if that stays fair, and it will not. So going down the right field line was attempting Noyola, and trying to cut that off also was Elliott Surrey, but the ball was foul. And so he'll come back and pick up the bat. And we'll do it again. Count now 2-1 on Matt Noyola. Score 7-3, Columbia Basin leading after 4 innings. We're in the top half of the 5th. And that ball is going to be hit sharply out at shortstop, but coming up with it was Medina throwing it over to Satzer, no problem for out number 1 to get Noyola. So 6-3 for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up number 15, Armando De Leon, the third baseman for the River Dogs. Top of the 5th. De Leon last time up scored. Swings and misses. De Leon's the one who actually hit the ball back to the pitcher. And then they were the ball went to home plate, and then they were off to the races after it went out into right field. He swings and waves and misses at the second one, so strike 2 on De Leon, and looks down at Gabe, and Gabe's like, okay, I like the aggressive nature. Make sure that you swing at a pitch that's more suitable in the strike zone. And that ball is tattooed up in the air. Does it have enough? The left fielder gets back. It's gone. That ball is out of here. So De Leon ends up getting a hold of one. And I'm looking to see, he actually had one during the regular season. This one's got to be much sweeter. as he makes the score 8-2 now, or 8-3 now for the Columbia Basin River Dogs. So the Columbia Basin River Dogs ends up with their first home run of the tournament. Stockton Taylor went around on a triple and got to come home last night on their first run, but that is the first one hit out of the wall in left field, and that ball went high, and it was tattooed well. In is going to be Rico Moreno, the center fielder, and he shows butt and pulls one back for ball one. So another run for Columbia Basin off of Bokeh was DeLeon. Moreno hits one out towards the shortstop, and that'll be your second out of the inning as he catches it on the fly. So F6 for Moreno, and that's going to bring up Davis Engel to the plate. Engel had a hit the last time up, an RBI hit to boot. Came in to score as well last inning. The first pitch from Bokeh is on the outside corner, strike one. 2 away, 1 in here for the River Dogs. Next pitch, outside. Ooh, same place. Strike two. Might have a little bit of an expanding strike zone. I'm sure that Edson would love to have that strike zone that Bokeh is getting. Next one is called a ball. It was out there. Figured he'd go back out there and see what else he could get. Next pitch on the way from Bokeh on the 1-2 is a mile high, and it looks like third baseman Cooksey gets underneath it in foul territory, and he will bring it down for the third out of the inning. And so not before the Columbia Basin River Dogs end up getting a home run from Armando DeLeon, and after 4.5 innings are complete, we have the Columbia Basin River Dogs 8, San Gabriel 3. This is the senior, or the 2011 16 to 18-year-old senior Babe Ruth World Series Broadcasting Network. Will be back in about 90 seconds.
Come on down to the 2011 Grant County Fair. Tons of fun for the family and lots of activities and crafts, food and livestock, the Moses Lake Rodeo Roundup and the Demo Derby, and lots of other stuff. The 2011 Fair will be held between August 16th through August 20th. So come on down and bring the family. You can find us at the fairgrounds here in Moses Lake. Come join the fun the third weekend of September at Odessa's 41st Annual Deutsches Fest. Enjoy authentic German food, games for the kids and for the adults, beer gardens, and great music throughout the entire weekend. Located at the crossroads of Highways 21 and 28, Odessa is 72 miles west of Spokane and 45 miles east of Moses Lake. Bring the whole family. There's something for everyone at this year's Deutsches Fest in Odessa.
We are real students, and this really is our college.
Gabriel, and the first batter swings and misses will be Nick Cooksey. Stockton Taylor's been out there the distance so far. 6 hits apiece so far, and 6 errors up there on the board for San Gabriel. Next pitch is in the dirt, 1-1. Just to let you know how bad those 6 errors are, I was just looking, and it was actually the double play that would have actually been out of the inning. The inning that they scored 7, Columbia Basin, if that double play gets turned from home to first, they don't score. They went on to score 7 times in that inning. Next ball was in the dirt, making it 2-1 now on Cooksey. So 2-1 with nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. So pretty much almost all those runs were unearned. The only one earned so far would have been the home run this last inning. Swing and a mix by Nick, and that's going to make it 2-2. So Taylor with a 2-2. He's been taking his time in between pitches. Makes it a little bit more challenging on me to see what I can go ahead and fill the air with. Time called finally by Cooksey as he was taking too much time from him. And then here's Taylor's next delivery on the way. Swing and a miss at one up around his eyes is Cooksey, and there's a strikeout for Stockton Taylor. First out of the inning. And number 29, Brennan Salgado, the catcher, will be stepping in. Salgado steps into the left-handed batter's box. And here's the first pitch to him is a swing and a miss, or actually a foul off. Foul off to just to the right of him as he steps into the left-handed batter's box again. 8-3 is your score here in the bottom of the 5th. Columbia Basin leading San Gabriel, California. Next delivery on the way. Swing and a miss. 0-2 now on Salgado. An important one if the River Dogs can go ahead and hold on to this victory, because 2-2 a lot of times can be a good record when you're trying to get into the next round with the top 3 teams. And here's the next pitch on the way. Swinging it, or looked at strike 3, 2 strikeouts to start off the inning for Taylor, and that's the way you want to get it done, to preserve that lead. It's going to bring up number 33, Troy Mulcahy, the center fielder and cleanup hitter for San Gabriel. It doesn't assure you in there, but if you can get those first 2, it sure makes it a lot easier to try to get into that second round. And as a host team, sometimes when you got this good a competition winning their way to get here, it's always good to try to get those first 2 on the board. Here's Stockton Taylor's next pitch, and it's in the dirt. So ball 2, 2-0 on Mulcahy. And Mulcahy so far has got a hit, and he struck out the last time up. Either that or I can't remember if he walked. I think I just put down I know he got on base. Swing and a miss. 2-1 now the count on Troy. Mulcahy. Got a couple Troys on the team there. Prozerzit. Here's the 2-1 delivery with 2 outs here. Swing and fouled back, so now the count goes to 2-2. And as the ball leaves the yard and goes out towards the parking lot, we have the announcing crew making a glass advertisement. Next pitch on the way, the 2-2 delivery is in the dirt, so the count will now go full on Mulcahy. 2 outs here in the inning, nobody on. Bottom half of the 5th for San Gabriel. 8-3 is your score. Columbia Basin leading San Gabriel. Catcher need to re-click one of his shin guards, and now kind of working on the other one. Mulcahy steps back in with his full count with 2 outs. Stockton goes into the windup, and he'll hit it way out towards center field, and underneath it is Rico Moreno, just about 5 or 6 steps in from the warning track, and he will haul it in. So 3 up and 3 down for San Gabriel, and after 5 innings are complete, it's Columbia Basin 8 and San Gabriel 3. You've been listening to the 2011 16 to 18-year-old Senior Babe Ruth World Series Broadcasting Network, and we'll be right back in about 90 seconds.
We are real students, and this really is our college.
My dream will change the outcome of my life.
My college is allowing me to achieve my dream.
My dream is to be a pilot.
My dream is to be a nurse.
Only you can determine your dream. Big Ben will help you get there.
What's your dream?
Waiter. I didn't say wiener.
I only have 5 hits for San Diego.
Lead off the top of the 6th inning, shortstop, number 22.
Come on down to the 2011 Grant County Fair. Tons of fun for the family and lots of activities and crafts, food and livestock, the Moses Lake Rodeo Roundup and the Demo Derby, and lots of other stuff. The 2011 fair will be held between August 16th through August 20th. So come on down and bring the family. You can find us at the fairgrounds here in Moses Lake.
And right now we got Cameron Alvarado up with a count of 1-2 on him here in the top half of the 6th inning. Next pitch on the way is going to be hit out towards right field. Elliott Surrey running in, and he will make the play. So fly out to right field does Alvarado for the first out of the inning. We're in the top half of the 6th, where the Columbia Basin River Dogs are leading by a score of 8-3 over San Gabriel, California. That's going to bring up pitcher Stockton Taylor. Stockton was one of those who came in to score in on the 4th, and he'll look at strike 1. Next delivery on the way from Brokey is going to be a high, towering fly ball that looks like it's going to have Medina get underneath it, and he does for out number 2. So F6 for Stockton Taylor. And that's going to bring up number 18, Chris Walker, the right fielder. And Walker has got at least 1 hit in this ball game and has been on with a walk and scored back in the big inning. Matter of fact, he got on twice during that 4th inning. Had a walk and a hit during that inning. He looks at ball 1. Ted Brokey throws in the dirt for ball 2. 2-0 on Walker, and 2 out here in the top half of the 6th inning. Your score 8-3. Columbia Basin leading right now, San Gabriel. Brokey's next delivery is high, ball 3, 3-0. So Walker trying to get aboard any way he can. (3-0) delivery is high and outside, ball 4. So 4 straight pitches to Walker will put him down to first base on the free pass. And that's going to bring up Josh Snyder. Josh was also up and got on a couple times during that 4th inning. He had himself looks like a hit by pitch and a single. And he scored once. Throw over there to Walker at first base. Walker doesn't take too big of a lead. He's a pretty big guy. Snyder's a lefty. He steps back into the batter's box. And there's one that bounces in for the first pitch for 1-0, and it looks like Salgado did something. I don't know. He either twisted something or what he did, but he was just kind of like going for the ball. He kind of blocked it. I'm not exactly sure what it was. He might have just gotten caught somewhere, but he's taking a little bit of time to whatever it was, or wherever it hit. He's not really showing in a long times where that is that you wonder if it didn't get underneath the cup. But Salgado is just kind of shaking things off as we're taking a little bit of time here, and he grabs his gear. And so still kind of walking things off. Over at first base, we have Chris Walker, the right fielder. There are 2 outs in the inning. We had Cameron Alvarado fly out to the right fielder. We had Stockton Taylor fly out to the shortstop as the first 2 at batters. And now it kind of looks like Salgado's going to go ahead and take a couple of warm-up tosses, give himself a little bit more time. And up to the plate right now we have Josh Snyder, which just fouled that last pitch off. Or actually, it doesn't even look like he did. It looks like that's 1-0. That was just a ball that he tried to block. So 1-0 is your count on Josh Snyder. There's a strike on the inside corner. 1-1 now. Walker down at first, 2 away here in the top half of the 6th. Nobody in yet. 8-3 is your score. Columbia Basin leading right now. And that ball is fouled off down towards the left field side. Not a play. New baseball will come in. Salgado is still shaking off wherever it is that he got hit. And Snyder steps back in with a 1-2 count now, with 2 outs. Walker down at first. Here's the pitch, and there he goes, Walker, and it's up the middle, and the shortstop will get it and throw him out over there. Walker was already at second base, so the only play for him was over at first, and he gets Snyder, so count at 6-3 for the 3rd out of the inning. And after the top of the 6th has been played, it's Columbia Basin River Dogs 8, San Gabriel, California 3. This is the 2011 16 to 18-year-old Senior Babe Ruth World Series Broadcast Network, and we'll be back in about a minute and a half.
Come on down to the 2011 Grant County Fair. Tons of fun for the family and lots of activities and crafts, food and livestock, the Moses Lake Rodeo Roundup and the Demo Derby, and lots of other stuff. The 2011 Fair will be held between August 16th through August 20th. So come on down and bring the family. You can find us at the fairgrounds here in Moses Lake. Come join the fun the 3rd weekend of September at Odessa's 41st Annual Deutsches Fest. Enjoy authentic German food, games for the kids and for the adults, beer gardens, and great music throughout the entire weekend. Located at the crossroads of Highways 21 and 28, Odessa is 72 miles west of Spokane and 45 miles east of Moses Lake. Bring the whole family. There's something for everyone at this year's Deutsches Fest in Odessa.
top of the 6th inning, and Elliott Surrey steps in there, and he'll hit a rocket shot into left field. So with a base hit and throwing the ball in will be Yamane. And Elliott Surrey making quick work of that pitch and gets himself a leadoff single. And that's going to break up the 6-6 tie on the hits. So San Gabriel now has 7 hits compared to the River Dogs' 6 hits. The real story of the game is the 6 errors for San Gabriel versus none for the River Dogs. That has a lot to do with the 8-3 score that's sitting up there. Bottom of the 6, 8-3 is the score. River Dogs over San Gabriel right now, and up to the plate is Troy Przerczyk. And the pitch from Taylor is in the dirt for ball 1. 1-0 on Troy. Surrey over at first base. On deck is number 27, Nick Wagner, the second baseman. Stockton comes set. Comes to the plate. And outside for ball 2. 2-0 now on Przerczyk. Tomorrow's action. 11 a.m. Cape Cod versus Noblesville. 2 p.m. Portland versus Eagle Pass, Texas. 5 p.m. San Gabriel's taking on Ottumwa, Iowa. There's another throw over to first base. Back in time is Surrey. Tomorrow night's the Columbia Basin River Dogs versus Mobile, Alabama. Last year's champion, 6 returning kids. Favorites of the tournament. So Columbia Basin would like to be able to hold on to the lead on this one. Tough division they're in. This is a tough San Gabriel, California team. And there's a foul from Troy Przerczyk, making the count now 2-1. So then Tuesday at 11 a.m. we'll have Ottumwa, Iowa playing Onondaga, New York. And then the 2 p.m. game would be Mobile, Alabama versus San Gabriel. Next pitch from Stockton is over for a strike. So 2-2 now with nobody out here. In the bottom of the 6th, Surrey over at first base. 2-2 on Przerczyk. And then at 5 o'clock on Tuesday is Puget Sound versus Portland. And then the 8 o'clock game is the game the night that the Columbia Basin River Dogs don't play. Swing and a miss by Przerczyk for down on strikes. So there's your first out of the inning. Still over at first base is Elliott Surrey, and that's going to bring up Nick Wagner, the second baseman. So after falling behind 2-0, Stockton Taylor came back and struck out Przerczyk. And then the nightcap on Tuesday will be Cape Cod versus Eagle Pass, Texas on Tuesday night. So Nick Wagner, the second baseman, will step in. Here's the pitch. There's a strike. Stockton doing a good job of dropping that pitch over. After Wagner, it's number 10, Andrew Medina, the shortstop. He's had a good game going. He's got a couple hits in this ball game, it looks like. Another throw over to first base to keep Surrey at where he's at. Now it comes set. The 0-1 delivery is going to be hit, and Stockton did get a piece of it, but it's not enough to slow it down for the shortstop Alvarado. So it works its way into center field, where Rico Moreno comes up with it and throws it back in. So 2 aboard now. We got Surrey down at second, and with a single is Nick Wagner, and that's going to bring up number 10, Andrew Medina, the shortstop. Medina with a couple of hits so far in this contest. Number 8 hitter for San Gabriel. Here's the delivery. Nope, high. Ball 1. Getting a big lead out there at first base because he's not being held on is Wagner, especially right after the pitch. Might not be a bad idea to bring in Snyder after the pitch. No, and that ball is going to be hit for a base hit out towards right field, and coming up with it really nicely is Chris Walker, and he'll throw it in. So the bases are loaded as it was hit well. So first base is Medina, second base is Wagner, and third base is Surrey, and there's only one down here in the bottom of the sixth. That's going to bring up the pitcher. Nope. Yeah, that's going to bring up pitcher Bokey, Ted Bokey, who gave one a ride last time, but it was caught out there in center field. It's also going to prompt Randy Boroff to come out and say, hey, we got a 5-run lead, and things could fall off here pretty quick if we don't start getting our act together. So we're in the World Series. What do you say we get an out? And he'll make his way back towards the dugout. Tell Stockton that we need to get this guy as we're getting back up towards the top of the order again. But right now, they're going to be going against somebody who gave the ball a ride pretty good the last time he was up. So Bokey steps in with the bases loaded and only one down here in the bottom of the sixth. 8-3 is your score. Columbia Basin River Dogs leading San Gabriel. San Gabriel threatening. River Dogs trying to look for a double play. Ball's high. 1-0 on Ted Bokey. Stockton Taylor in his stretch, taking a look in. Bokey says you're taking too long. Stockton keeps looking in. Comes set. Next pitch on the way. Outside for ball 2. Nowhere to put Bokey, so he's going to have to come across here really soon. Bases loaded. Top of the or bottom of the sixth. The score is 8-3. Columbia Basin River Dogs. One out. Bases loaded though. That pitch is fouled back, so 2-1 now on Bokey. Pretty full house here, enjoying some baseball here. Still got a lot of people enjoying the nice weather here in Ephrata, Washington. Taylor comes set. Man, the next pitch is high. Ball 3. No more time for any balls, otherwise it's going to bring in a run here. 3-1 the count on Bokey. 8-3 is your score. Bottom of the sixth. Bases are loaded. 3-1 count. One out. Next pitch on the way. Ball 4. And that will rock in a run. So that'll also bring up Mark Sotzer. And coming to the score is Elliott Surrey. Down to third goes Nick Wagner. Andrew Medina goes up to second. And now with the free pass goes Ted Bokey. And we will have a pitching change. And we will be bringing in out of the bullpen. It looks like, let's go ahead and pause for about a 90-second break, and I'll tell you who we're bringing in. in Ephrata, Washington for your 2011 16 to 18-year-old World Senior Babe Ruth World Series. And we do have a pitching change for the Columbia Basin River Dogs. It's going to be Cody Johns. So Cody Johns takes over for Stockton Taylor that so far has went the distance in the game. And the bases are still loaded with only one out here in the bottom of the sixth. Score is now 8-4 Columbia Basin. But the tying run is coming to the plate with only one away. So we'll see if Johns can go ahead and stop the bleeding for Columbia Basin. For San Gabriel, they'll see if they can claw their way ever closer. So Johns is a right-hander, and Satzer is a lefty. And here's the first pitch in the dirt for ball one. So Cody Johns coming in to relieve. Cody has a 1.83 ERA for the season, 40 strikeouts and only 7 walks. That's ball two, though, high. And he's got 46 innings pitched. That's a lot of strikeouts and not very many walks. We'll see if Cody can get on track here. Umpire looks like he's going to go ahead and try to squeeze and make it tight. And so 3-0 now on Johns. And 3-0, just one more ball away from this ball game being 8-5. And there's a strike. So 3-1 now on Mark Satzer, the first baseman. Bases loaded. We're in the bottom half of the sixth inning. 1 run in already. Score is 8-3, or 8-4, excuse me. River Dogs right now. And that ball is going to be sky high. There's a lot of ground. Davis Engels chasing it around at second base. He will come up with it. All the runners will stay. So 2 away after Satzer pops up to second baseman Davis Engel, but Engel was actually more closer to the shortstop area in the outfield when he finally came down with it. So that's going to bring up Nick Cooksey, number 25, with 2 outs and the bases loaded now. So Cody Johns looking to get out of this jam. 1 more out. Cooksey is also the tying run up at the plate. Bottom of the sixth. There's a strike. Good looking pitch. Did good to come back off of a 3-0 count earlier there with Satzer. Johns comes set. Nice dig. Very nice dig by Nayola. Right now you don't make those digs. They start costing runs and people moving up without force plays. So 1-1's now your count on Cooksey. 2 outs in the inning. 1 in. 8-4 is your score. Bottom of the sixth. Bases loaded. Nice looking curveball. That thing started really high and curved right back down into the zone. 1-2 now on Cooksey. Not a fast curveball either. It's kind of a slow yacker that comes in. A lot of movement. Cody Johns' next pitch is high. Ball 2, 2-2 on Cooksey. 2 outs, bases loaded, bottom of the sixth. 1 run in, 8-4 is your score. Columbia Basin leading San Gabriel. Cody Johns out relieving Stockton. There it is, another yacker. Curveball that came back around for the strikeout, and they will leave him loaded. So after 6 innings complete, what looked like a nightmare only turned out to be 1 run for San Gabriel. And after 6 complete is Columbia Basin 8, San Gabriel 4. This is the 2011 16 to 18-year-old Senior Babe Ruth World Series Broadcast Network. We'll be right back after a minute and a half.
Come on down to the 2011 Grant County Fair. Tons of fun for the family and lots of activities and crafts, food and livestock, the Moses Lake Rodeo Roundup and the Demo Derby, and lots of other stuff. The 2011 Fair will be held between August 16th through August 20th. So come on down and bring the family. You can find us at the fairgrounds here in Moses Lake. Come join the fun the third weekend of September at Odessa's 41st Annual Deutsches Fest. Enjoy authentic German food, games for the kids and for the adults, beer gardens, and great music throughout the entire weekend. Located at the crossroads of Highways 21 and 28, Odessa is 72 miles west of Spokane and 45 miles east of Moses Lake. Bring the whole family. There's something for everyone at this year's Deutsches Fest in Odessa.
Fans, we're sitting here going into the top half of the 7th inning where the Columbia Basin River Dogs have a lead of 8-4 so far over San Gabriel. The warm-up tosses are just kind of finishing up, and Coach Gabe Boroff's heading down for third base. And we're going to have ourselves possibly a pinch hitter because I don't recognize 31 right off the bat. That's going to be Johnny Navarro. Is going to go ahead and get an opportunity here in the top half of the 7th inning. And he'll look outside for ball 1. So 8-4 is your score. Columbia Basin leading right now, the San Gabriel, California team. And Navarro looks at ball 2, 2-0. Only 6 hits for the River Dogs, 9 hits for San Gabriel, 6 errors for San Gabriel. And there's a strike that from pitcher Bokey, Ted Bokey. 2-1 now the count. And the next pitch is low and in the dirt. 3-1 now. The count on pinch hitter Johnny Navarro. Navarro so far, and Bokey's a quicker worker. Navarro so far, let's see if I can find it. He'll walk on the 4th pitch right there. He had 253 for the year. And that's also going to bring up Noyola is going to hit. So hitting for Yamain was Navarro. He'll be down at first on the base on balls. Noyola will hit for himself. It's going to prompt to come out of the dugout Phil Torres, manager Phil Torres, and I don't know if he's going to make a change. He hasn't called for anybody. Well, now he will. Looks like third baseman is going to, or no, he's going to call in the infield. So doesn't look like he's necessarily going to make a pitching change yet. Gabe will now go ahead and talk with base runner Navarro, and he'll talk with the hitter Noyola. Just want to remind you guys that while they're out there, that you could be watching all this action as if you were down here on the baseball field. We got cameras up on the dugouts, and you can watch it on www.columbiabasinherald.com or cbhtv.mobi, M-O-B-I, or iFiber Channel 1. And the meeting is over, and Ted Bokey is ready to go, and stepping into the box now is Noyola, and Navarro is down there at first base on his base on balls to lead things off here in the top half of the 7th. Your score is 8-4 right now. Columbia Basin leading San Gabriel by a score of 8-4. Next pitch on the way. Looks like they're going to go for a bunt, and then he pulls it back. So Noyola Pitch kind of goes over the pitcher, but nobody's going to advance on that. Shortstop comes in, gives it back to the pitcher. Got a little bit of a breeze going. I can see the back of the jersey of Noyola kind of actually. And the funny thing is this is about the time I got home, or we started leaving last night. It's about the time the breeze came up. It's like clockwork, and a pickoff move is out. So Johnny Navarro will get picked off over at first base by Bokey, and quickly one down after the free pass. So caught getting a little too far off over there on the pickoff move. Next pitch in to Noyola is going to be grounded out towards the shortstop. He'll come over to first base, and they will get him for the second out of the inning. So quickly, 2 down after the pickoff move. That's going to bring up number 15, Armando De Leon. Now, De Leon had a home run his last time up. Scored twice in the game so far, too. Only River Dog to do so far. And he'll hit that one. It looks like the first baseman may have a play, and he does. And he makes a good play over by the dugout for the River Dogs and flips it behind his back. Is Satzer towards the mound as this inning is over. So F3 for De Leon. And we're going into the bottom half of the 7th inning with the Columbia Basin River Dogs leading by a score of 8-4. This is the 2011 16 to 18-year-old Senior Babe Ruth World Series Broadcast Network. We'll be back in about a minute and a half.
We are real students, and this really is our college.
My dream will change the outcome of my life.
My college is allowing me to achieve my dream.
My dream is to be a pilot.
My dream is to be a nurse.
Only you can determine your dream. Big Ben will help you get there.
What's your dream?
Come on down to the 2011 Grant County Fair. Tons of fun for the family and lots of activities and crafts, food and livestock. The most
Columbia Basin River Dogs in San Gabriel, where Columbia Basin is leading by a score of 8-4. This is San Gabriel's attempt to try to come back. And ball one is for the first pitch for Brendan Salgado, the catcher. He'll be followed by Troy Mulcahy, the center fielder and the cleanup hitter. So Columbia Basin leading by a score of 8-4. This is the bottom of the 7th, and San Gabriel's last at bat if they don't get it done, or if they score 5 and get it done. So number 29 sees another ball, and now it's 2-0. So Cody Johns out there working his second inning of work now. And that ball is ripped out towards center field. It looks like Rico will get underneath it. He was actually touching the wall while he was doing so. So giving it a ride with some power is Salgado. But not quite enough as he flies out to center field for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up number 33, Troy Mulcahy, the center fielder. Mulcahy. So he'll swing and miss at the first pitch, 0-1, and the next pitch from Johns is swung back and fouled for strike 2. So quickly 0-2 on Mulcahy. And Cody Johns comes set on the 0-2 pitch now to Mulcahy is going to be a ball low and blocked nicely by Noyola. On deck is going to be number 12, Elliott Surrey, the right fielder. Next pitch is going to be a ball. Says he did not go around when he took kind of a half cut. So 2-2 now, the count on Mulcahy. Johns goes into his windup. Man, swing and a miss. Strikeout for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 7th. And that'll bring up Elliott Surrey. 1 out left for San Gabriel to try to get things going. They find themselves down by 4 here in the bottom of the 7th. Cody Johns' first pitch is high, ball 1. Ball 1, so Columbia Basin looking to try to go 2-0 in this tournament. If they can get one more out. Next pitch is inside, ball 2. 2-0 on Surrey. Next pitch on the way. Fouled off and behind us here. Count now 2-1. 2 away here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Scores 8-4. Columbia Basin leading. 9 hits for San Gabriel, 6 hits for Columbia Basin. And there's a nice hit past the shortstop and into center field. Rico Moreno to pick it up and throw it in. So on with a single is Elliott Surrey, who has got himself, that's his 2nd straight hit in the ball game. He came around to score last inning. It's going to leave. That's going to bring up Troy Prozerzit, the left fielder. Prozerzit has struck out his last couple times up. Elliott Surrey takes his lead over there, and Cody Johns is in a stretch, and that ball goes straight up. It's just a matter of whether Alvarado looks like he's going to camp under it, and he makes the catch, and this game is over. So Columbia Basin River Dogs managed to go 2-0 in the first 2 games of this tournament as the host team. Beat a good team tonight in San Gabriel and beat a good team last night in Iowa. They're going to have to do it again and bring their A game if they're going to do it against Mobile, Alabama. But after 7 complete innings, it's the Columbia Basin River Dogs 8 and San Gabriel, California 4. We'll go ahead and go away for about 2.5 minutes, and after that we'll go ahead and come back for a rundown and just kind of a departure and tell you what's going on tomorrow. This is the Senior Babe Ruth World Series Broadcasting Network.
Come join the fun the 3rd weekend of September at Odessa's 41st Annual Deutsches Fest. Enjoy authentic German food, games for the kids and for the adults, beer gardens, and great music throughout the entire weekend. Located at the crossroads of Highways 21 and 28, Odessa is 72 miles west of Spokane and 45 miles east of Moses Lake. Bring the whole family. There's something for everyone at this year's Deutsches Fest in Odessa.
We are real students, and this really is our college.
My dream will change the outcome of my life.
My college is allowing me to achieve my dream.
My dream is to be a pilot.
My dream is to be a nurse.
Only you can determine your dream. Big Ben will help you get there.
What's your dream?
Pacific Northwest, that's Portland baseball, right? Portland baseball.
Cody John, where's he from? Nephew Valley. Oh, okay.
Southwest is Eagle, Texas. Eagle Pass.
Come on down to the 2011 Grant County Fair. Tons of fun for the family and lots of activities and crafts, food and livestock, the Moses Lake Rodeo Roundup and the Demo Derby, and lots of other stuff. The 2011 Fair will be held between August 16th through August 20th. So come on down and bring the family. You can find us at the fairgrounds here in Moses Lake. Come join the fun the third weekend of September at Odessa's 41st Annual Deutsches Fest. Enjoy authentic German food, games for the kids and for the adults, beer gardens, and great music throughout the entire weekend. Located at the crossroads of Highways 21 and 28, Odessa is 72 miles west of Spokane and 45 miles east of Moses Lake. Bring the whole family. There's something for everyone at this year's Deutsches Fest in Odessa.
We are real students, and this really is our college.
My dream will change the outcome of my life.
My college is allowing me to achieve my dream.
My dream is to be a pilot.
My dream is to be a nurse.
Only you can determine your dream. Big Bend will help you get there.
What's your dream?
Was it Morgan?
I think so. He was a little longer.
That's Morgan.
He was mostly just straw. I was looking at him like,
Okay, so
if we made him go to bed.
very good.
Because I'm like, dude, you need to
Okay,
sleep.
how did it go?
Well, we might have victim.
He was up late last night.
Okay.
I was up really late last night. I was up until 2 in the morning.
Okay, guys.
I had lots
See you
of
tomorrow.
until 10 at night, and then I came back and my friend came out watching movies, and then I passed out.
Just right in the hallway's fine, I don't care.
And then tomorrow, I'm going to be up until midnight, and then I get home. And I'm like, boom.
Yeah, no kidding. No worries. Yeah. Oh, sure. I don't know. I mean, going up there. So they are gonna have some clothes for you.
They're gonna have some wedding dresses for me. But that's cool. They want me to bring. He wants me to bring my own clothes.
As much as you can.
Yeah. I don't want clothes, so it's not a problem.
My cousin